Today in my journal, I'm visiting again with Mandie, who's showing me her citrus plants inside the house, and she's also explaining scale. I always wondered why sometimes my plants got sticky, shiny stuff on the leaves, and the leaves all fall off. Now I know, it might be scale. So after Mandie shows us her plants, she showed exactly what scale looks like and how to look at a plant to find out if it's there.
This is my dwarf lemon. I bought it a couple of years ago. It actually gave me 2 lemons the first year that I had it, and seems to be doing pretty well. I mean, it put out a lot of new growth this year. I've kind of been watching it though, because it actually dropped quite a few leaves on the stem, and so I've kind of been watching to see whether it's a water issue or whether it's a spider mite hidden, scale or something like that issue. So we'll see. This is a lemon that I started from seed, so it's growing.
So you just get a seed out of a lemon and plant it?
Yep, that's what I did with this. And then this right here is a tangerine seed that came up. And then this down here is grapefruit seed. So I pretty much just try and sprout everything that comes across as a seed, because why not? This is an orange seed, I believe. That one's grapefruit. This is my lime. Here my lime is actually segregated a bit, still due to it having the scale that one time. And you can see it is putting out the new growth. And actually even down here.
So how did you know it had scale?
All of the plants, or all of the leaves fell off, and I was just looking at it and I noticed that the leaves had a little black, brownish oval on it, and that it was also on the stem. And I had seen in the book that, or in a book, that scale will often attack citrus, and so I cleaned all of those off and washed the plant in rubbing alcohol, which I don't think it probably liked that, but it seemed to be thankful that the scale was gone, because then it did put out growth. So I just kind of watch it, and every once in a while give it a little inspection to make sure that there's nothing to worry about.
What are those?
This one is the lemon that I got off of my dwarf lemon tree had seeds in it, so I planted the seeds, and so these are dwarf lemon plants. And then the rest are actually orange seeds. So seeds that were in an orange that I had bought, and so I just planted them, and I figured that I was more likely to use, even if it came out as a really small orange, I figured oranges are a little bit easier to use in cooking or whatever, orange zest for the peel. So.
And when you grow them yourself, you know for sure they're organic.
Right.
That the peels are healthy.
And that's kind of the goal, is if I can grow these to actually produce, then I'd be able to use the whole plant, essentially the skin and the fruit itself, for teas or whatever, and I wouldn't have to worry about any other chemicals being mixed in. So I almost forgot, this is my kumquat. I bought it a couple of years. It had fruit on it that year, and so I was able to eat those. I brought it in for the winter, and it's flowered since then, but hasn't actually produced anything. But it seems to be fairly happy because you can see right here, we'll get out of the way so you can get closer, is an actual bloom. So I will be being the bee, because there's actually quite a few blooms that are starting on this guy. And so I will be taking my Q-tip to them and pollinating and see if any will set.
So you mentioned that your lime had scale.
Yes.
What exactly is that?
So it is a...
And you said that maybe this plant has the same thing. So can you explain on this plant how this was like your lime?
So scale is an insect that likes to feed off of the liquids of a plant. So it normally will show up, especially on leaves. You'll see it most of the time at like the base of the stem, or especially on the underside. It will like to, where's a good example? Like here's a good example. It will sit right along the base where the stem is, because that's where all of the nutrients are coming through. And it will just find a location and then build its little scale protection over it and just suck the plant dry until to the point where the leaves will actually fall off that it's on.
Put it on your finger.
So there's some remnants of the scale that just got wiped off. And it will even attach to the stem as well.
Is that it?
It is possible that the way this stem has this flakiness, it's probably caused by the scale, but it's harder to tell because this has a brown stem.
Is this one?
Possibly.
So when your lime...
Actually, you can kind of tell on this new growth, it's got these scales on each side, so it's feeding off of the new growth.
So when your lime had this, what happened to it?
It was down to only one leaf left. The leaves just kept falling off, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I was looking at the plant more closely, and I realized that it had those little brown ovals on it. And so I looked in my book of common pests and found the scale. And so I decided, okay, I want this lime to live, so I inspected every leaf and stem and knocked off all of the scales that I found, and then I took rubbing alcohol and a toothbrush and scrubbed each of the leaves and stems in an attempt to kill off any remnants of it, and that did seem to work. I just kind of kept inspecting it every day after that until it started putting out new growth, and now it's healthy looking, but I still keep looking just to make sure that one doesn't show up, because I want to catch it as soon as it happens instead of letting it get into a big infestation.
I didn't know you could grow citrus inside. That's a really good idea, because a lot of times recipes need peels or some of the juice out of an orange or a lemon or a lime, and sometimes it's difficult to get organic ones that are safe for use in cooking, especially using the peels. So maybe starting an indoor plant from the seeds of store-bought fruit as something that's worth trying. Have a great day.